Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you're learning English and you just want to be able to grab a coffee without feeling totally overwhelmed or intimidated, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Today, we're going to master how to confidently order food and drinks at a busy cafe. I know stepping into a fast-paced environment in a new language can be pretty nerve-wracking, but we're going to break the whole process down so it's entirely manageable, super practical, and really easy to remember. To kick things off, I want you to really visualize this with me. Imagine you're walking down the street. It's a gorgeous, bright morning, the exact kind of morning where you just desperately need a great cup of coffee or tea. You step up to the cafe doors, pull them open, and walk right inside. You are ready to practice your English. Holding on to this mental picture is actually really important because tying your learning to real-world scenarios makes the vocabulary stick so much better. All right, let's dive right into step one, arriving and asking for the menu. This very first interaction is delightfully simple. You don't need to memorize complicated paragraphs or stress over complex grammar. As the customer, you just start with a warm, friendly hello. The worker is likely going to smile and say, "Hello, welcome." Once that quick greeting is out of the way, you need to actually see what they serve, right? So you bring out our first target phrase. "Can I see the menu, please?" The worker will just say, "Of course," and hand it right over. And boom, that's it. You've successfully kicked off the conversation. Okay, so you've got the menu in your hands. That brings us to step two, exploring the cafe menu. Let's cover the absolute must-know vocabulary. Let's lock in some of these everyday classics. Actually, say these out loud with me nice and slowly. We have coffee, tea, juice, sandwiches, and cakes. Seriously, I highly recommend saying those out loud to yourself right now. Connecting your own voice to the words is a fantastic little trick to solidify these items in your memory. So, how do we actually ask for these things? Well, this right here is your foundational sentence structure. You're going to use this one over and over again. I would like a blank, please. It is polite, it's crystal clear, and it sounds perfectly natural. If you want coffee, you just plug it right in. I would like a coffee, please. Craving tea? I would like a tea, please. Commit this exact sentence frame to memory. It's a game changer. Now let's see how this plays out in a real back and forth. When you order a drink, the worker is almost always going to hit you with a follow-up question. Usually it's just small or large. You simply reply with your choice plus our magic word, please. So you just say small, please, or large, please. Notice how easy and natural that rhythm is? But hey, what if you're hungry? You might start off by saying, I would like a sandwich. The worker will probably ask, which sandwich would you like? And this is where you get specific. You could say, I would like the chicken sandwich, or maybe I would like the cheese sandwich. Did you catch what happened there? We swapped the word a for the, because now we're talking about a very specific item from their menu. Moving right along to step three, and honestly, this one is incredibly important for anyone learning English. Look, cafes are not quiet libraries. They're loud. People are chatting, espresso machines are hissing, plates are clinking. Sometimes you just flat out won't hear what the worker said. When that happens, do not panic. Just rely on this absolute lifesaver of a sentence. Can you repeat that, please? Seriously, this is your safety net. It's perfectly polite, locals use it all the time, and it shows you're actively trying to engage. Memorize it so you can handle any missed words with total confidence. Another common hurdle is just the hustle and bustle of the place. If the cafe is packed, the worker might ask you to wait a second while they finish frothing some milk or something. You just need a simple, polite way to acknowledge them. Just smile and say, no problem. That's it. It keeps the whole interaction positive and super smooth. Okay, let's take all of these fantastic building blocks we've been talking about and move to step four, cafe dialogue practice. We're going to stitch this all together into a real-time simulation. Let's get a feel for the actual rhythm of this. I'm going to read through this, and I want you to imagine you're the customer, standing right at the counter. You walk up and say, I would like a coffee, please. The worker asks, small or large? You confidently answer, large please. Then the worker checks to see if you're done, asking anything else. See how beautifully that flows? It's just a simple game of tennis. Let's keep that same scenario going. When they ask, anything else? You say, yes, I would like a sandwich. The worker asks, which sandwich would you like? You get specific, the chicken sandwich please. And the worker replies, great choice. Then you just say, thank you, and they'd say, you're welcome. Practicing this flow reinforces the vocabulary and gets you used to the natural pace of the conversation. And just like that, we arrive at our final stage. Step 5, common payment questions and departure. You've got your order in, so now it's time to settle the bill. If you want to know the total damage before you go digging through your bag or wallet, use this exact phrase. How much is it? It's direct, it's polite, it's perfect. The worker is going to say something like, it is $5, and you just casually reply, okay, thank you. Now, when it's actually time to hand over the money, you'll need to know what payment types they take. If you've got plastic, just ask, can I pay by card? If you're carrying paper money, ask, can I pay with cash? The worker will almost always say, yes, of course, and guide you right through it. Simple as that. Finally, you've paid, you've got your coffee, and you want to leave on a warm, positive note. Here are your go-to exit phrases. First, a simple, thank you very much. Then, as you're grabbing your things, you can add, have a nice day. The worker will definitely appreciate it and likely smile back with a, you too. I want to wrap up today's explainer with a genuinely uplifting thought. The more you practice, the easier English becomes. It really is true. These little interactions are going to make you feel significantly more confident out there in the real world. Keep practicing these sentences out loud and challenge yourself to use them the next time you're out. So I've got to ask, what delicious drink or treat are you going to confidently order on your next cafe visit? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.